Okay, so check it out. I'm coming back to back with y'all, man. It's very rare that I do this, but Mike got me working overtime. And honestly, I got myself working overtime. Hello, I'm Lexus. This is King's Experience, KOE, for the family, because I try to do things with my son to show him you can do it yourself. Typically, you can learn things and get a good experience from it. So that's what this channel is about. If you're new here, click to subscribe and hit the bell. As of right now, I've been uploading quite frequently. We're kind of centered around car stuff, but for the moment, it's bike season. As you can tell, I'm a Yamaha fiend, mainly specific bikes. I'm not just one type of bike. FZRs, R1s, R6s. I actually have a couple of R1s, but these are my favorite that are in the garage right now. This is going to be part 2 as far as what we're doing to this bike. We purchased this bike. It was a full-on track bike, still is, but we're working at making it streetable. I mean, more or less up to my standard as to how I want to move with the bike. So ultimately, at the end of this project, we're going to have still mostly a street bike, but it's going to be 100% capable to do anything and everything I want to do with it. So as I use bikes, back roads, heavy, track days, and I do a ton of wheelies. I'm not too heavy on high speed stuff, and obviously with a 600, it's really not even that big of a deal. Top speed probably gonna be like 150. Just to catch up with what we did for the first situation, fixed the leak on the fuel tank, corrected the fairing stay, got our wiring together, found power for the headlights, found power for the tail. I was gonna change from GP shifter, and I did rotate that up so that you could shift it standard, but I still just really don't like those rear sets. And this shift rod right here rubs up against that upper bolt. I'm just getting rear sets and gonna eliminate that whole thing so we can put it back to standard. Got the quarter turns in here, took the plastic pins that he had holding on there so it's a little bit more official. We could just hit the quarter turns and pull shit off. When I turned the camera off, I kept working, I kept tinkering. Ended up getting the zero gravity windscreen, put that on. Got a kickstand now finally, so we could actually get this bike off of the rear stands. A few things that I noticed after further inspection. See that crack? Little hairline crack, I noticed that shit. So clip-ons got to come off. This bike did slam. I believe we went over it, but I may have taken it out in editing. This bike has seen its fair share of a low side on the right. When the handlebars slam over to the right real quick, go ahead and bust that nub right there. That nub has taken an impact. It's not a huge ordeal. Maybe later on I'll replace it. Looking at that, I decided to inspect it a little bit more. And obviously this shows you damage. That shows you damage there, damage there. So I figured I might as well look real deep and real close right there, and what do you know? We're gonna pull the front end off. I'm gonna move the radiator out the way. Coil packs and spark plugs right there. So let's just get those in there because we found that little issue where you rev it and it'll take a quick stutter and then it'll go. And I don't even wanna have any performance issues because we wanna get this bike on the dyno, get it tuned. There's a power commander under there. Dude said it was a full exhaust. That still doesn't matter to me. This is a perfect bike for me for the street. I don't know, let's get busy. I'm gonna set up this camera. I'm gonna set up a couple of cameras. I'm gonna put the GoPro here on my head. We're going step by step, probably talking you guys through a little bit of this. The last video I put a little bit in the beginning of it. We're just straight working on the bike. I really dig the interactions in the comments with everybody. I appreciate it. So your suggestions are very paramount to how I proceed through the build, because I could just fire straight through certain things. If you want me to get really intricate in a couple of things and explain stuff a little bit more in depth, please, by all means, let me know. Man, I have literally just been the work on bikes guy lately, and it's not unbecoming because I do enjoy working on the bikes, but you know, we will have some car content coming back soon. Tracks are closed, nothing's really going on car wise, and you know, this Ronin got everything screwed up. Damn, I love that. 2 quick clips on either side, and boom. Take the screws out, and we got the whole front end off in mere seconds. Bam, and like that, she is off. And it seems that we still got this fuel drip problem, or if that's the stuff I never cleaned out, but either way it goes, we're gonna check that again. Oh, I know I didn't show this last video, but yeah, we trimmed this down and applied the quarter turn bases in. I don't know, just doing real cool stuff. That's what helped us get this thing apart so quickly. These are pretty cool. They're way brighter than I thought they were gonna be. I just wanted to see because I had the windscreen right there. I just wanted to see how bright this was. Now with lights off, it was very convincing that I'd be able to see something at night. I do know once I get out into the vast world of darkness, whole different subject. That's promising. We'll see what the other LED strips provide once I get them. They'll be here pretty soon. So you guys can see the difference in why I'm really so infatuated with the R6 and it's being such a superior motorcycle for a 600. I was always talking about the temperatures on the 636. The thing is about the 636, it only has one fan, and I've never had an overheating or even a hot bike problem because the R6, if you could see, it has two fans, one on either side. This is why this is such a superior performing bike, because I could pull every bit of power out of this bike at all times and never really have to worry about its performance, because right at about 212 degrees, that fan cuts on, both of them, they cut on so damn strong, it just drastically drops the temperatures, and they'll maintain, you know, the bike's temp, and you can just pound on this bike and get every bit of the high RPMs out of it, every bit of the performance it has to offer. It's just, these are performing motorcycles. Yamaha really did their thing once they started to get here into this class of bikes. So obviously I could dick ride it all day. I'm gonna stop. All right, so the angle of the motor, I could kind of go in at it right here, but I feel like removing the ram air and lifting the tank up is possibly going to give me the best results. It's only like 5 more minutes worth of work, and I, you know, get to check the air filter and see what condition that's in. So yeah, let's just go for it. So we yanked the tank off. We're digging into this bike a little bit more thoroughly. Now, you guys have probably seen yesterday's vlog or the day before. I've got so many videos loaded. I don't know which, when, and where you guys are going to see them, but the Aaron bike saga, the Farron Aaron saga. What's happening with Aaron is he killed his rectifier and the stator. Those are basically in a car. Your alternator does both the job that the rectifier and stator does. It manages voltage and current and whatever, and your battery assists with that too. Matter of fact, that's Aaron's battery charging on top of that one. So this is your rectifier that controls the voltage and current. This wire harness right here definitely goes down. It comes, you know, from this harness. You've got the wire harness coming up from the stator, and then some are going to the voltage regulator, and then the rest are going to the battery. What happens when you ride a bike with a battery that's dead for a very long period of time, they going bad. It's an easy fix, replace both of those, which I'm gonna have to do with Aaron's bike, which you will see later. Very odd that it happened once it was in Aaron's possession. I guess it's just something that happens, because I've killed one before on the FZR. I've killed one before on my first R6. I know the deal. I know the difference. It's just really frustrating for Aaron, because he's trying to have some fun, and I want him to have some fun. I don't want him to go through too many issues, especially just having the bike, you know what I mean? And also, they're placed in a really weird spot on the 636. Here in the R6, again, they've thought about keeping that cool. That's why all the vanes are on the rectifier. They thought about keeping it cool. It's way out of the way. It's actually in good airflow. The 636, that rectifier is right here on the bottom of the kickstand. And even on this bike, that's ultra close to the exhaust manifold. So it's just a flaw that I see in the design for the 636. And in the R6, they had their heads on straight, and they wanted to make sure they gave us the best quality product. People have asked me a lot on IG and in comments and DMs, like, why do I like Yamaha so much? This is the reason why. This is exactly the reason why. So this looks like a OE style filter. So that's cool. It's actually really clean. That's where the glorious noises come from, right there. So this is a very, very clean running motorcycle. Right, so now that we got the plugs and packs done, those are connected. We can put the radiator back. And since I have that fuel tank off, it's gonna leak from that top cap. Those caps are never like 100% sealed, and I don't like them. We're gonna flip that over. We're gonna pull the base of the fuel pump off, put a little RTV around it to seal it, and we're gonna put it back down. There's quite a bit of remnants of the leak from around here. I'm just putting RTV on it just to create a little bit of a better seal. Ooh, look at all of that. It's been leaking for a minute. Gotta move a little quicker. Fuel just leaking out. Alright, so while we're waiting for the tank to dry, I think our problem might be fixed. We'll see. No big deal if it's not. I kind of almost expect to do it again. While we're waiting, we got a little bit of time. So look, I'll tell you about why this is the bike for me, right? A couple of people are like, dude, there's so many other bikes, or you're a bigger guy, you could jump on something else. I could do all of that. There are so many other opportunities to ride different, better, newer bikes. It's kind of like what Mike explained to y'all when he was talking about how bad he wanted my 636 before I got rid of it. So this is just the first bike that I bought. It's the first bike I experienced everything with. Crashing, fixing, riding my wife on the back of the bike, my wife riding it on her own, taking long trips, stunting, back roads, every great experience between the age of 21 to, I don't know, when did I get rid of it? It was with this model bike specifically. I mean, that's just why. That's just why this is the bike, you know. It did everything right. It didn't do everything wrong. It was far superior. I don't care what you might think about whatever your favorite bike is, but just technically this bike was far more superior than the other 600. Even though I had the newer model R6s, this one always held a piece of my heart that was just not to be filled by anything else. I was just looking at it today. So there's two types of wheels that I want. I either want the newest R1 wheels or 2015 and up FZ07 wheels. The FZ07 wheels look real dope, look really dope, and I think I'm leaning towards those. I don't really care about the weight difference. If everything goes well in the next day or so, I schedule with my Pro Style wrap guys. We'll get this thing wrapped up, and then I will do the final touches. I'll do the final touches as far as LEDs and things like that. I will be hoping to get it on the rollers for a custom tune, sending a couple things to powder coating. You know, other than that, we should be hitting the streets. Just checking, make sure no fuel's leaking. Everything looks really good thus far. But everything fired up normally. Let's see how. That seems good, right? Oh man, it just, yeah. Wow. Oh, she's ready. Oh my God. She's beasted. Oh my goodness. Wow. I can't wait to ride this. Fuel seems to be fine. Wow, we're good, y'all. This is coming together. It just had a few little minor things that needed to be addressed. The guy didn't put any effort into it. Wow, that thing was ripping. This thing is gonna be like really good. So just an update. Zero gravity windscreens in. Found the power for the lighting. Put in a little joint that's temporary. I just want to see how lights worked on this. How LEDs performed, I should say. We got the new plugs and coil packs in. Kickstands on. Everything's put back together. New fairing stay on. Added a brake reservoir. Made adjustments to the rear sets. Just, you know, busy shit. Everything's coming out pretty good. I am actually going to replace the rear sets because I just do not like these. And this, I'm going to end up shaving that down, sanding that, making that flat. I could probably get an aftermarket hanger or whatever, but I want this to look kind of factory because I'm putting the other one on. So I want to have that on there, and I'm still this weekend probably going to cut this exhaust really short so that we can reduce it by probably about 4 inches or so. Given the fact that this is still here and this is placed there, I'm going to move the badging down to here. So that's about how much I'm cutting out of the exhaust. If I did opt for a different hanger that hung the exhaust about this portion, then I would cut it even shorter. But because we have this on, we're probably going to reduce this much, so it'll drop it, you know, tip will be about right here. So that should be pretty chill. Brakes are rock hard, and we definitely have security knowing that we have a full reservoir. I think we're ready to rock. We need to get this bike tuned, and I wanted to get this out of the way before we went to the tuner. And as you can see, I'll show you my hand. There's no hesitation. That shit ripping. Oh my God. I like it. I like that we are getting through a lot. We got through a lot really quick, so that's just summing up everything that we've done thus far. It's cleaned up a lot of the miscellaneous mess. Because I am going to do street duty, I'm definitely taking this off and putting a real radiator reservoir there. We set the suspension up. She's really this close to being able to hit the streets. A thought that I have had is get a jack up kit just to jack the back of the bike up a little bit more. Time for me to holler at my guys, Pro Style Wraps. If I can get that knocked out very quickly and in a timely fashion, I'm going to be really happy about that. All I have to do after that is wire in the permanent lighting that I want, front and back, and we're done. We can go hit blocks. Look forward to it. I'm really excited about it. Hella hyped. Keep it rocking. Stay tuned. Hit the subscription, hit the like. If you don't, so what? I'm still having a fucking blast. So I'm gonna kill this experience, and we're gonna proceed on the 5SL R6 Moto2 build. I don't want to prematurely ride it because I want it to be at least one color before I take it out. Even if I don't put the livery and graphics on it, I want it to be all blue before I take this thing out and bend the block. So we're gonna wait, and I'll check you guys on the next experience. 2 up.